Arkansas, but he's right. I do, on the other hand, agree that he's right to be treated fairly by our courts. This is a, you know, just like, you know, anybody from any other state have. But this sort of thing, I mean, it seems a bit unseemly that we're, you know, I mean, it always seems a bit unseemly that we're kind of dumping on these people who either, you know, who, without looking on the other side of the case. But I think it's especially bad if we have, I think it looks especially bad in this case, but that's, anyway, but as I said, anybody, regardless of what state they're from, certainly has a right to be treated fairly in a New Hampshire court.
I just, for clarification, would you, so you do or don't have any evidence that the guardian ad litem in question has been behaving in a way consistent with the guardian ad litem board, has been acting in good faith, is a taxpayer or law-abiding citizen? Those are all four claims you just made. I'm just wondering if you'd like to back them up.
Well, we've always been impugning, I just feel uncomfortable, especially with the guardian ad litem. We've been impugning the integrity of every guardian ad litem, and this one, I don't know much about her work aside from the report. If I can, on one hand, written report that Mr. Vandenberg provided us. I mean, there have been other guardians ad litem where we've impugning their integrity, and we see their work product. It, you know, seems to be perfectly good work product.
This being a work session, I don't mind this discussion. I don't know that it seems to be.
Well, actually, I'm trying to get to a point. You don't have to take it. Okay. This person in question, as I understand it, has submitted invoices for $17,000 worth of work, though didn't get the contract and paperwork done up front. If they sent that particular document through the mail, question of mail fraud. If they submit it to the court without justification, it is actually fraud and billing of the court. Doing it under color of law as part of quasi-judicial immunity disrespects the court and the state. So I have issue with if these facts, oh, and by the way, they look like facts to me because I'm looking at an invoice and I'm saying there's no contract to back it up. I'm just asking how we're making you know.
You're making a point. Yeah.
Which is, we don't know anything about this person. They didn't come in and back it up. All I know is the information, the half a story some people are claiming, is that I have a bill for which I can't see work product, and that constitutes potential fraud.
Representative Abel.
Just, thank you, Mr. Chairman, just regarding the dumping on judges and dumping on guardian ad litems, I want to just point out the fact that so far I have not called into question any part of Mr. Vandenberg's claim. And I believe that a man has been separated from his child for 2.5 years, whether you agree with the process or not. Still, it's a very, very serious problem. And I'm just surprised he's kept his sanity up to this point. If these claims are proven to be true, I feel that if anybody has been dumped on, it's the person who's actually testifying before this committee. Thank you.
Sir?
I'm sorry, yes. Mr.
May I present one other document? And this is about the guardian ad litem. I filed a complaint against her with the GAL board.
Yes.
3 years ago, 3 years and 3 months ago.
Yes.
They wouldn't even consider it for 6 months. They finally did docket it, but it took about 3 years to get to the point where they dismissed it. This is a letter from June 22nd, just last month, saying they're dismissing my complaint because the guardian ad litem is not certified. Yet, when you go on the guardian ad litem board, which is the agency which generated the letter, here is a copy of her recertification. So in spite of the fact that they cannot do anything about her because she's not certified, it took me 60 seconds to find her certification, which they own. So they are lying to me that she is not certified. And in so doing, they're dismissing my complaint.
Is there no assertion that we are extremely interested in this? Was that the GAL board you said?
Yes.
While we're passing this around, may I ask another question?
Is there another hand up somebody before that? Just want to make sure.
Do I understand that based on this invoice, presentation to the judge, and complaints of the guardian ad litem, that this man's liberty was put in jeopardy based on work product of this invoice and responsibility for billing, and the judge said, if you don't pay it, you're going to jail. Do I understand that properly?
I understand that.
That's correct.
And Mr. Chairman, in a follow-up, if there was any question about whether or not all of this work product was actually done, which is what the citizen is representing, then that person's liberty was potentially put in jeopardy based on fraud. Is that right? Or am I drawing an incorrect conclusion?
That's how I would represent it. Again, in terms of the fraud,
Representative Parsons.
Just for a point of clarification, were you, sir, ever incarcerated?
no, was not. I was threatened by Judge Arnold on 2 occasions at 2 hearings. In addition, there were, in January, February, March, April, May, June, and July was when we finally had a hearing. 7 months, there was a hearing scheduled at which I could potentially be incarcerated. So for 7 months running, and at the last minute, each of those hearings was then continued, put off for a while. But there were 2 specific instances.